In 1898, a bullet ripped through the air, heading straight for the heart of Spanish King Alfonso XIII. But, instead of ending the monarch's life, it bounced harmlessly off his silk vest. This wasn't luck. It was the world's first bulletproof vest, invented by a man history nearly forgot. Jan Szczepanik, the Polish genius whose innovations were so advanced, even Thomas Edison was left in awe. Born in 1872 in a small village in Austrian-controlled Poland, Jan Szczepanik's early life gave no hint of the revolutionary inventor he would become. The son of peasants, raised by his aunt and uncle, young Jan showed an extraordinary curiosity about how things worked. While other children played in the fields, he spent hours dismantling and reassembling household items, much to his family's concern. As a young man, Szczepanik became a primary school teacher, but his mind constantly wandered to the realm of invention. In the evenings, by candlelight, he would sketch designs for machines that seemed impossible at the time. Devices that could capture moving images in color, transmit pictures through the air, and weave complex patterns automatically. These weren't just dreams. They were prophecies of technologies we now take for granted. The late 19th century was an era of rapid technological change, and Szczepanik was determined to be at its forefront. He moved to Vienna, then a hub of innovation and intellectual discourse, where he began to transform his theoretical knowledge into practical inventions. His brilliant mind, combined with an almost supernatural ability to visualize complex mechanical systems, soon earned him the nickname the Polish Edison, though his achievements would prove to be far ahead of even Edison's vision. But being a visionary in the 1890s came with enormous challenges. Szczepanik faced skepticism from established scientists who claimed his ideas were impossible. Many of his concepts were so advanced that the technology needed to fully realize them wouldn't exist for decades. Financial struggles constantly threatened to derail his work. Unlike many inventors of his time, Szczepanik didn't come from wealth. Every experiment, every prototype, every patent application strained his limited resources. He often had to choose between buying food and buying materials for his inventions. The political climate of Europe added another layer of difficulty. As a Pole living under Austrian rule, Szczepanik faced discrimination and bureaucratic hurdles at every turn. Patent offices would sometimes delay or reject his applications simply because of his nationality. Industrial espionage was rampant, with competitors attempting to steal his designs before he could patent them. Perhaps most frustrating was the limitation of contemporary technology. Szczepanik's mind could envision solutions that the manufacturing capabilities of his time simply couldn't produce. It was like trying to build a smartphone with Stone Age tools. The blueprints might be perfect, but the execution was nearly impossible. Despite these obstacles, Szczepanik's genius couldn't be contained. His breakthrough came with the invention of the telectroscope, a device that could transmit color images over long distances, essentially predicting television decades before its invention. The system used a complex array of selenium cells and mirrors to convert images into electrical signals and then reconstruct them at a distant location. But this was just the beginning. His colorimeter, a device for analyzing and reproducing color patterns, revolutionized the textile industry. The machine could automatically weave complex patterns that previously required countless hours of manual labor. This invention alone earned him millions and caught the attention of industrial powers across Europe. Then came the bulletproof vest that saved King Alfonso XIII. Using specially woven silk layers, Szczepanik created a flexible armor that could stop bullets, while remaining light enough to wear comfortably. This invention brought him international fame and demonstrated his ability to solve practical problems with innovative solutions. Perhaps most remarkably, Szczepanik developed a color film process in 1899, decades before Technicolor. His system used 3 colored filters to capture and project color images, a principle still used in modern digital cameras. He even created an early version of what we now know as a movie sound system, synchronizing audio with film projections. His work in automation was equally groundbreaking. He developed systems for automatically controlling industrial processes, created early versions of guided missiles, and even designed an electronic piano that could transcribe music as it was played. Many of these inventions were so ahead of their time that working prototypes couldn't be built until decades after his death. Yet, despite these incredible achievements, Szczepanik's name has largely faded from history. Several factors contributed to this tragic oversight. First, many of his most visionary inventions were simply too advanced for their time. While he could design and patent them, the technology needed to fully realize them wouldn't exist until long after his death. This led many to dismiss his work as mere fantasy, despite later proof of his concepts. The outbreak of World War I devastated his business empire. Many of his factories were destroyed, and his international patents became worthless as nations seized enemy property. The post-war redrawing of European borders further complicated his ability to protect and profit from his inventions. Perhaps most critically, Szczepanik was more interested in invention than self-promotion. While contemporaries like Edison built massive business empires and carefully cultivated their public image, Szczepanik remained focused on the work itself. He didn't write memoirs, give grand speeches, or court the press. As a result, when he died in 1926, much of his story died with him. The rise of national rivalries in the early 20th century also played a role. As countries increasingly claimed scientific achievements for national pride, Szczepanik's multinational background, Polish by birth, Austrian by citizenship, working across Europe, made him difficult to categorize and claim as a national hero. Today, as we unlock our phones with facial recognition, watch high-definition color videos, and take bulletproof materials for granted, we're living in a world Szczepanik envisioned more than a century ago. His patents and designs, studied by modern historians of technology, reveal an inventor who was thinking in 21st century terms while living in the 19th century. His true legacy isn't just in specific inventions, but in his approach to innovation. Szczepanik showed that the seemingly impossible could become reality with enough imagination and persistence. He proved that groundbreaking ideas can come from anywhere, even from a humble schoolteacher in a small Polish village. In an age where we celebrate innovation and entrepreneurship, Szczepanik's story reminds us that true genius often goes unrecognized in its own time. His life challenges us to consider how many visionaries among us today might be dismissed because their ideas seem too advanced, too ambitious, too ahead of their time. Szczepanik's story isn't just about forgotten inventions. It's about the timeless struggle between vision and limitation, between seeing the future and being bound by the present. In an era where technology evolves at breakneck speed, his story is more relevant than ever. The next time you take a color photograph, watch a movie, or see a bulletproof vest, remember Jan Szczepanik, the forgotten genius who saw our future over a century ago. Like this video if you want to see more stories about forgotten innovators who shaped our world, and leave a comment below sharing which of Szczepanik's inventions surprised you the most. Don't forget to subscribe for more fascinating stories of forgotten geniuses who changed history.